Right now, in this very moment, I need you to do something that most people are terrified to do. I need you to look at the thing that scares you the most, the dream you've been sitting on, the goal you keep pushing to tomorrow, the idea that lives in the back of your mind at 2 a.m. when everything is quiet. And I need you to decide once and for all that you are going after it. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when the timing feels right. Because here's what I've come to realize. The timing is never going to feel right. There will always be a reason to wait. There will always be something that feels too risky, too uncertain, too far out of reach. But here's the truth nobody tells you. The path to anything meaningful is going to be uncomfortable. It is going to stretch you in ways you never imagined. And that's not a sign you're failing. That's actually a sign you're moving in the right direction. There are going to be moments along the way, and I promise you this. There are going to be moments where everything in you wants to quit, where the doubt creeps in and whispers, maybe this just isn't for you. Maybe you're not built for this. Maybe you've already heard that voice. Maybe you're hearing it right now as I'm speaking to you. But let me ask you something. What if the struggle is actually the point? What if the hard part, the rejection, the setbacks, the nights where you're questioning everything you thought you knew about yourself? What if that's not the obstacle between you and your goal? What if it's actually the road to it? See, most people treat difficulty like it's an enemy. The moment things get hard, they look for the exit. They convince themselves that it's a sign from the universe that they're on the wrong path. But the people who actually make it, the ones who build something real, they don't see difficulty as an enemy. They see it as information. They see it as fuel. And I want you to start seeing it that way too. Now here's something I want you to hear, and I really need you to let this land. You are not alone in feeling this way. You are not the only person who has woken up one morning and thought, I have no idea if I'm capable of doing this. Every single person you admire, every person who ever built something from nothing, they stood exactly where you are standing right now. They had the same fears. They had the same doubts. The only difference between them and everyone else isn't that they didn't feel afraid. It's that they moved forward anyway.
That's it. That's the whole secret. Not talent, not luck, not being in the right place at the right time. Just the willingness to keep going when every part of you is screaming to stop. And if you can do that, if you can build that kind of stubbornness inside yourself, then I promise you, you are already ahead of most people.
Now here's something I want you to really sit with. We spend so much of our energy focused on what our bodies can do, how hard we can work, how many hours we can grind, how disciplined our routine is. But the real battle happens right here, in your mind.
If you are not mentally locked in, it does not matter how talented you are. It does not matter how hard you are willing to work. Your mind is either going to carry you forward or it's going to hold you back. And that is where the real preparation starts. Not in the gym, not at the desk, but in how you think about yourself and what you are capable of.
So let me challenge you. Tonight or tomorrow morning, or whenever you get a quiet moment, sit down, get still, and ask yourself one simple question. What do I actually want?
Not what looks good on paper, not what your parents want for you, not what your friends are doing. What do you want? Deep down, in the part of yourself that you don't always listen to, what is it calling you toward? Write it down. Seriously. Put it on paper. Because the moment you do that, something shifts inside you. You start to see it differently. It stops being just a thought in your head, and it becomes something tangible, something real. You start to build a vision, and visions have a power that thoughts on their own never will. Now I know some of you are thinking, but what if I actually try and I fail? And honestly, I hope you do. I'm completely serious. Because failing is not the end of your story. It is simply a chapter in it.
Think about every person you have ever looked up to. Think about the people who changed entire industries, who built companies, who created art that moved millions of people. Every single one of them failed. Not once, not twice, multiple times. They just refused to let those failures be the final word.
Here's the way I want you to think about it. You cannot learn how to succeed at something until you have first experienced what not succeeding feels like. Failure teaches you things that success never could. It teaches you where your real weaknesses are. It teaches you what you're made of when there's no one around to cheer you on. It builds a kind of strength inside you that you could never get any other way. So when life knocks you down, and trust me, it will, don't let it define you. Let it refine you. There is a massive difference between those two things. Here's another thing I need you to understand, and this one is big. Success is not a straight line. It never has been. It's not a clean, smooth journey from point A to point B. The road is messy. It's unpredictable. There are going to be bad breaks, dead ends, and seasons where it feels like absolutely nothing is going your way. And when those moments come, because they will, a lot of people look at that and say, this must mean it's not meant for me. But here's what I've learned, and this one changed the way I think about everything. The hardest moments, the bad breaks, they almost always show up right before something big is about to happen. So when things feel the most difficult, when it feels like the whole world is pushing back against you, that might actually be the moment you are the closest you have ever been to a real breakthrough. And the worst thing you could possibly do in that moment is walk away, hang in there. Because the next chapter might be the one that changes everything.
So here is what I am leaving you with today. You are allowed to stumble. You are allowed to fall. You are allowed to have days where you feel like none of this is working. But you are not allowed to stay down. The people who actually change their lives, the ones who build something they are proud of, the ones who look back and say, I did it, they are not the ones who never struggled. They are the ones who kept going because they struggled. They looked at the hardest parts of the journey and instead of turning around, they said, okay, let's go. So whatever it is you are chasing, whatever dream is sitting inside your chest right now, the one that makes your heart beat a little faster when you think about it, I need you to protect that. Feed it. Show up for it, even on the days you don't feel like it. Especially on those days. Because the version of you that exists on the other side of that effort, the version that pushed through when it was hard, that kept believing when no one else did, that is the person you were always meant to become. Don't let anyone talk you out of that. Don't let fear talk you out of that. And most importantly, don't let yourself talk you out of that. Now go build it.